Shalom, I'm Ezra Solomon. You're repeating affirmations every morning and wondering why success isn't showing up. Here's the truth. You're not manifesting anything. You're avoiding discipline. Today, I'm teaching you the Hebrew declarations that don't make you feel successful. They make you build success through character. Let me destroy the comfortable lie you've been living with. You wake up, look in the mirror, and say, I am successful, I am abundant, I am confident. You repeat these words, you feel good for 15 minutes, and then you scroll your phone for an hour. By noon, you've done nothing that actually builds success, but you feel productive because you said the words. This is the trap of modern affirmations. They give you the emotional payoff of progress without requiring any actual sacrifice. They let you feel like you're working on yourself while avoiding the hard work of building yourself. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. When you repeat, I am successful, while your circumstances scream otherwise, your mind knows you're lying. And for people struggling with low self-worth, which is most people using affirmations, research shows these positive statements can actually backfire. They create cognitive dissonance. The gap between what you're saying and what you're doing makes you feel worse, not better. So you say the affirmations louder, you add more, you make them more positive, and you keep avoiding the discipline that would actually create the success you're trying to speak into existence. I've worked with hundreds of people stuck in this cycle. They've got affirmation apps, mirror sticky notes, morning routines full of positive self-talk, and they're no closer to their goals than they were 6 months ago. Because affirmations without action are just wishful thinking with better marketing. The psychology is clear. Self-affirmation theory works when you're already competent and just need a confidence boost. But when you're using affirmations to replace the hard work of building competence, you're creating a comfort mechanism that keeps you weak. Here's what modern culture won't tell you. Words alone don't create reality. Action creates reality. Character creates reality. Discipline creates reality. And the ancient Jews understood something about declarations that we've completely forgotten. The Torah doesn't teach you to speak success into existence. It teaches you to build it, not through comfortable mantras, but through daily commitments backed by action. Not I am statements that let you feel good, but I will declarations that demand you become disciplined. This isn't about positive thinking versus negative thinking. This is about passive wishing versus active building. And today I'm teaching you the difference. In Jewish tradition, there's a concept called kavanah. It means intention, but not just any intention. It's the direction of your heart aligned with your actions. When ancient Jews made declarations, they weren't trying to feel better about themselves. They were committing to become better through discipline. The Torah is explicit about this principle. In Deuteronomy, the teaching is clear. Your words must align with your deeds, not just your feelings, your deeds. The ancient rabbis understood that language has power, but only when backed by action and truth. Modern affirmations say, I am successful. They declare a present state that doesn't exist yet. They ask you to believe something that reality contradicts. And your brain, which is designed to process truth, rejects this. That's why you have to repeat them constantly, because they don't stick. They're not true. Hebrew declarations work differently. They don't say I am. They say I will become through discipline. They're not about manifesting a fantasy. They're about committing to a transformation that requires daily work. The Talmud teaches that the seal of the Holy One is emet, truth. Your words must match your actions or they're meaningless. Worse than meaningless, they're deceptive. When you say, I am abundant, while avoiding the work that creates abundance, you're lying to yourself. and that lie becomes the foundation of your continued failure. Let me give you the psychological backing for why this matters. Research on implementation intentions shows that I will statements outperform I am statements by nearly 300%. When you say, I will build my business for 2 hours today, your brain activates behavioral systems. It creates a plan. It prepares for action. But when you say, I am successful, your brain relaxes. Why work for something you already claim to have? This is why studies show that positive affirmations can actually reduce motivation for people with low self-esteem. They create the illusion of achievement without the reality of effort. The ancient Jewish approach rejects this comfortable illusion. Hebrew declarations create accountability, not comfort. They force you to measure your actions, not your feelings. They demand that you account for whether you did what you said you would do. This is the practice of musar, ethical discipline and character refinement. It's not about speaking your desires into the universe. It's about building your character through daily commitments that you actually keep. Let me tell you about Marcus, 34 years old, entrepreneur, struggling with consistency. When I met him, he had a morning routine that would impress anyone scrolling social media. Meditation, gratitude journal, and 20 minutes of affirmations about abundance, success, and confidence. Every morning, Marcus stood in front of his mirror and declared, I am a successful entrepreneur, I am abundant, money flows to me easily. He had sticky notes on his bathroom mirror, affirmation cards by his bed, and a phone app that sent him positive reminders throughout the day. And his business was failing. 6 months of daily affirmations, 6 months of I am successful, while his revenue dropped 40%. 6 months of manifesting abundance while avoiding the hard conversations with clients, the uncomfortable marketing, the discipline of building systems that actually work. When I asked him what he did after his morning affirmations, he got defensive. I work on my business, he said. But when we looked at his actual time logs, here's what I found. After 30 minutes of affirmations and journaling, he'd spend 2 hours scrolling, researching competitors, watching motivational videos, planning his future success. By lunch, he'd done nothing that actually built his business. The affirmations weren't helping him. They were his primary avoidance mechanism. I confronted him directly. Marcus, you're not manifesting success. You're avoiding discipline. He got angry, started talking about positive thinking, about the law of attraction, about how I didn't understand the power of mindset. So I asked him one question. In the past 6 months of daily affirmations, has your business grown or shrunk? That's when he broke, because he knew the answer. The affirmations felt productive. They felt like personal development, but they were just comfortable words covering up his unwillingness to do uncomfortable work. He admitted that every time he felt resistance to making a sales call or confronting a problem, he'd go back to his affirmations. They soothed him. They made him feel like he was still working on success, even while avoiding the actions that create success. The affirmations became my excuse, he finally said. As long as I was being positive, I didn't have to face how undisciplined I actually was. This is the trap, and if you're using affirmations the same way, you're in it too. But there's a different path, a harder path, an ancient path that actually works. Here are the 3 Hebrew declarations that build actual success. Not comfort, but character. Not feelings, but action. Write these down. Declaration 1. Ani bone, I am building. Ani bone means I am building in Hebrew. Not I am successful, I am building success. Not a fantasy about arrival, but a commitment to construction. Every morning, You declare what you will build today, not someday. Today. The practice works like this. Ani bone my sales system today. I will make 5 client calls and document the results. Specific, measurable, actionable. Then at night, you account for whether you built what you said you'd build. This isn't about feeling good. This is about becoming competent through daily construction. You're building your business, your character, your discipline, brick by brick, day by day. The Hebrew concept recognizes that success is built, not wished into existence. Declaration 2. Ani ma'amitz, I am strengthening. The root of ma'amitz comes from gevurah, strength and discipline in Hebrew. This declaration focuses on what weakness you will confront today, what resistance you will face, what hard thing you will do that builds your character, not comfort, controlled discomfort. Ani ma'amitz my discipline today by doing the work I've been avoiding. Maybe it's the difficult conversation. Maybe it's the early morning workout. Maybe it's 2 hours of deep work without distractions. You identify one area where you're weak and you strengthen it through deliberate practice every day. You don't avoid your Yetzer Hara, your evil inclination toward comfort and ease. You confront it. You build strength through resistance. The daily practice, name the weakness, commit to the action that addresses it, execute and track it. Simple, not easy. Declaration 3. Ani osek, I am engaged, I am working. Osek means engaged in action, actively working. Pirkei Avot teaches, it is not your duty to finish the work, but neither are you free to neglect it. This declaration is your commitment to show up and do the work, even when you don't feel motivated. Every morning, Ani osek in my business today, I will complete these 3 tasks before noon. Not I am abundant. I am working to create abundance through specific actions. These 3 declarations create a daily framework. You're building something. You're strengthening yourself. You're doing the work, not manifesting, building. That's the difference between ancient wisdom and modern comfort. Let me give you the psychological research that proves why Hebrew declarations work and modern affirmations fail. Dr. Peter Gollwitzer's research on implementation intentions is crystal clear. When people use I will statements with specific actions, I will go to the gym at 6 a.m. tomorrow, they're 3 times more likely to follow through than people who just set goals or use positive affirmations. 300% more effective. Why? Because I will statements activate behavioral preparation systems in your brain. They create mental rehearsal. They prime you for action. Your brain starts planning how to execute, not just wishing for results. Compare that to affirmations. A study by Joanne Wood at the University of Waterloo found that positive self-statements like I am successful actually made people with low self-esteem feel worse. Why? Cognitive dissonance. When what you're saying contradicts what you're experiencing, your brain rejects it. The bigger the gap between affirmation and reality, the more your mind resists. This is exactly what Jewish wisdom understood 3,000 years ago. The Musar movement, the Jewish tradition of character refinement, taught that transformation requires accounting, not just aspiration. They practiced cheshbon hanefesh, an accounting of the soul. Every night, you measure your actions against your commitments. Did you do what you said you'd do? Not how you felt, what you did. This creates what modern psychology calls a feedback loop. You declare your intention, you act, you measure the result, you adjust. This is how competence builds. This is how character develops. Affirmations skip the action and measurement steps. They go straight from intention to feeling good. No feedback, no adjustment, no growth, just the comfortable illusion of progress. Hebrew declarations force the discomfort of truth. When you say, Ani bone my business today, and then don't build anything, You can't hide behind positive thinking. The gap is visible, measurable, uncomfortable, and that discomfort is exactly what drives change. Your brain respects commitments more than fantasies. When you make a specific declaration tied to action, your mind treats it seriously. When you repeat a pleasant affirmation with no behavioral component, your mind dismisses it as wishful thinking. The ancient Jews understood that language shapes reality through action, not belief alone. Your words create accountability structures that demand follow through. They don't make you feel successful while you fail. They make you build success through daily discipline. That's the emet, the truth. And truth is what transforms you. Let me tell you what happened with Marcus after he abandoned affirmations and started Hebrew declarations. Day one was rough. He wrote his first declaration. Ani bone, my sales outreach system today. I will contact 10 prospects and document the process. It felt less inspiring than I am abundant. It felt like work, because it was. He made the calls. 5 people didn't answer. 3 said no. 2 showed interest. By the end of the day, he had built one piece of his sales system, a tracking spreadsheet and a follow-up process, small, tangible, real. That night, his Cheshbon Hanefesh was simple. Did I build what I said I'd build? Yes. One system component built, not perfect, not complete, but built. Week 1 was uncomfortable. Every morning he declared what he'd build, strengthen, and do. Every evening he accounted for his actions. No hiding behind positive feelings. Just the truth of whether he did the work or avoided it. He wanted to quit. The affirmations felt better, he told me. These declarations feel like pressure. Good, I said. That pressure is you becoming accountable to yourself. That's growth. Month 1, something shifted. His business systems were actually being built. His sales calls were actually happening. His revenue started climbing. Not because he manifested abundance, but because he built the mechanisms that create abundance. The critical moment came at week 6. He had a terrible day, didn't execute his declarations, avoided the hard work, his old pattern. But the next morning, instead of abandoning the practice or beating himself up, he wrote, Anima amidst my discipline today, by facing yesterday's avoidance, I will do twice the outreach I skipped, and he did it. 3 months in, his business revenue had doubled. 6 months later, it had tripled. More important than the money, his character had transformed. He wasn't the same man who hid behind affirmations. He had become disciplined, accountable, strong. His quote, Ezra, the declarations didn't make me feel successful. They made me build success every single day, and that built real confidence, not from positive words, but from proven competence. Same circumstances, different daily practice, different character, different life. That's what happens when you stop affirming what you wish you were and start declaring what you will build today. You become the person capable of creating the success you used to just wish for. I know what you're thinking right now. This sounds harder than affirmations. This feels less positive. I need encouragement, not more pressure. And you're right. This is harder. It is less comfortable, and that's exactly why it works. Let me be direct with you. Your Yetzer Hara, your inclination toward comfort and ease, loves affirmations. They let you feel productive without being disciplined. They give you the emotional reward of self-improvement without requiring any actual change. That's why they're so popular. That's why they're so useless. The Yetzer Hatov, your inclination toward growth and truth, demands something different. It requires you to confront reality, not cover it with pleasant words. It pushes you toward the discomfort that builds character. But I need positivity, you say. I need to believe in myself. Here's the truth. Discipline is positive. Building real competence is believing in yourself. When you complete your daily declarations, when you actually build what you said you'd build, strengthen what you committed to strengthen, do what you said you'd do, you're creating real confidence based on real evidence. That's more positive than any affirmation could ever be, because it's true. The problem isn't that you need more positivity. The problem is that you've confused comfortable feelings with actual growth. Ancient Jewish wisdom rejects that confusion. It demands truth. Emet. Your words must match your actions or they're worthless. But what if I fail? What if I don't complete my declarations? You will fail. Some days you won't execute. Some days you'll avoid the hard work. That's part of being human. That's part of character building. The difference is this. With affirmations, you can fail every day and still repeat, I am successful the next morning. No accountability, no growth, just comfortable self-deception. With Hebrew declarations, when you fail, you see it. You measure it in your cheshbon hanefesh. That uncomfortable truth forces you to adjust, to try again, to build discipline through repeated attempts, not through pleasant lies. This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. It's about daily practice, not flawless execution. Some days you'll build a little, some days a lot, but every day you declare and attempt to act, you're building character. That's harder than affirmations. It requires more from you, and that's exactly why it creates real transformation instead of comfortable stagnation. The ancient way is harder. That's the point. Here's what you need to understand. These aren't affirmations to make you feel good about yourself. These are declarations to build your character through daily discipline. Starting tomorrow morning, here are your 3 immediate actions. Action 1, morning declarations. Before you check your phone, before you do anything else, write down your 3 Hebrew declarations. Ani boneh, what will you build today? Be specific. One system, one skill, one piece of your business or life. Ani ma'amitz, what weakness will you strengthen today? Name the discomfort you'll face. Ani osek, what work will you do today? 3 concrete tasks before noon. Write them, speak them, commit to them. Action 2, midday. Check at noon, pause. Are you executing or just feeling good about your intentions? Are you building what you said you'd build? This isn't about judgment. This is about truth. If you're off track, you still have half a day to course correct. Action 3, evening cheshbon hanefesh. Every night, account for your actions, not your feelings. Your actions. Did you build? Did you strengthen? Did you do the work? Write it down. Measure it. Face the truth of whether you kept your declarations or avoided them. This is your 30-day commitment. Practice these declarations daily. Track your building, your strengthening, your doing. Don't compare yourself to where you want to be. Compare yourself to 30 days ago. Now, I need you to do something. Tell me in the comments, what's the one thing you're going to build starting tomorrow? What weakness will you strengthen this week? Share your first Ani Bone declaration below. Make it public. Make yourself accountable. If this challenged you to move from wishing to building, subscribe. I'm sharing more ancient Jewish discipline principles every week that will force you to confront comfort and build real character. Next week, I'm teaching you the Talmudic practice of Siag LeTorah, building fences around your discipline to protect your growth, ancient boundary setting for modern temptations. You'll learn how to guard your commitments before weakness even shows up. Here's your final challenge. Stop affirming what you wish you were. Start declaring what you will build today. Character comes through discipline. Discipline comes through daily commitment. These Hebrew declarations won't make success easy. They'll make you strong enough to build it. Shalom.